could be panic for that people don't know what's going to happen or how long this is going to last. So they just, like you said, it pushed them over the edge.
Yeah, and for everyone listening, the same thing happened after 9/11, that there was more people leaving New York City than coming in for about 2 to 3 years. And then guess what? It shifted. Once the coast became clear and it was safe again, people came right back to New York City. So everyone that's listening, I am bullish New York. I will never, ever bet against this city. I consider this a rebuilding year. We're going to be back to it sooner rather than later. And the way I kind of want to end, I know we started a minute or two late, so I'm happy to go over a minute or two. But what are your predictions? I know none of us can predict the future, but what do you kind of see the market doing over the next 3-6 months and even maybe beyond? And let's start with Gary, actually.
So I'm really glad to hear that you guys have been busier than ever before, because I sort of have a little bit more of a pessimistic view on this one. You mentioned 9/11, and I know a lot of experts say, following 9/11, following Superstorm Sandy or the mortgage crisis, I had my best year the following year. I think it's a little bit different now. I think technology is such that people can work remotely a lot easier. It's a lot more advanced. I mean, Martin was on his phone before, and you just, it's like he was here. I think you're also not necessarily it's gonna take a while to come back to New York City. What I mean by come back to New York City is we don't have restaurants right now. We don't have culture right now. We don't have sports right now. We don't have Broadway right now. A lot of the big reasons why people flock to the city or love to stay in New York City may not be back for a little bit longer. So, like I said, I came in with a very pessimistic view of things, but I'm glad to hear that you guys are super busy and that there are tried and true New Yorkers out there who want to stay, who are looking for value. I think it's a great time. One thing I will just say from an attorney standpoint is when you're looking at apartments, look at the building, make sure your attorney does due diligence, because one thing I'm starting to see is people asking me saying, well, my building has retail on the first floor. And what if they don't come back? What happens to our budget? Is my maintenance going to go up 20%? The answer is I don't know. It's going to all depend. So just one thing to be careful of when you are out there shopping, make sure you have a good broker, make sure you have a good attorney.
Yeah, really great advice. Thank you for that, Gary. Danny, what do you think? Are you as pessimistic as Mr. Katz?
So no, I'm pretty bullish on the market now. Maybe not in the next month or two, but and it'll circle back to what Gary was saying about people fleeing to the suburbs. From the conversations that I've been having and the transactions that I've been doing, upstate and even in New Jersey or Westchester, it's actually people looking for homes as a backup, not necessarily to leave the city permanently, but just to have a place to escape to that's their own, that they can be if the kids are at home for 3 months or if they ever want to just get out. The people that were still looking for $1.5–2 million apartments in the city or in Brooklyn, they're going out, they're picking up a house with 10 times more land for $400,000, $500,000. They can still afford in a few months that apartment, depending on how much of their assets they use. And I see them still actively looking. So that's why I'm not too concerned. Now, while Gary is 100% right that the culture of New York City needs to be here for there to be a market here and people to want to live here, I think that, that is a matter of time. And I don't think that this exodus is going to be anything permanent, but rather just people, having a place to run to, really.
Yeah, for sure. Things are shifting. Things are changing. The paradigm is moving. But, nature finds a way. Humanity will find a way. The biggest thing that I would say is now your home matters more than ever before. Every property that you see, you'll ask yourself, can I spend 23 to 24 hours a day here? And that for sure will change how people buy.